so in love with the summer day.
Hey you amazing person. Thank you for clicking on this video. And if you like my content, please consider subscribing. So the most common but true statement that we have heard from people who are in their 30s now, they tell people in their 20s that you should not be afraid of starting over. So I did start over my life. A moment of silence. So how, when, and why did I really start over my life, and why I think that you too should reconsider starting over your life, but it's not a demand. It depends on where you are in life. If you're pursuing what you feel is what you've always desired to pursue, then good for you. But if you feel you need to start over in life, probably the path that you took is not where you intended to be in life, and you really do feel that you need to start over, then this video is just right for you. So, like any other young child, growing up, you're asked, what do you want to be in life? For me, grew up kind of like, with all this career minded young girl. So,
Actually, I started thinking first of becoming a lawyer, then from a lawyer to a book editor, then from a book editor to uh,
doctor. So from the moment I set foot in high school, from the beginning, my goal was to end up in a medical career or a medicine career. And as you know, by this video, things did not go out as planned. But for the 4 years plus one, because of the coronavirus pandemic, all I had in mind was medicine. So I just started practicing medicine in my head even before getting the opportunity to practice it. But this is a story of another day, how I never even began my medical career. After high school is when I realized that life has a way of throwing surprises at us. And if life has not yet thrown a surprise at you, then I guess my best advice will be prepare yourself, because it's best when an opportunity finds you prepared than when an opportunity comes and you're not prepared. So after high school is when I was forced by life unwillingly to start over, and so far I can say it's one of the best decisions I've made. And if you want to know more, please continue watching. The best way to describe change is growth, and growth is uncomfortable. Even when you're growing wisdom teeth, there is pain. When you're outgrowing your old habits, there is that pain of losing that thing that you've always known for almost half of your life. But change and growth is one of the best things that will always happen in your life, because if you're not growing, then you're dying. So ask yourself, are you growing or are you dying? And it's never happened overnight, because no growth happens overnight. Even when a child is born, they grow continuously over time. They don't just get born and the next day you hear that they're 6 months old. No, the growth is continuous, and growth is a process. So even when I say that I started over in 2022, it doesn't mean that I just woke up one day and I decided this is not what I want, or this is what I want now. It was a process and it took time. And here are some steps that can guide you even as you start over your life. That is, if you're starting over your life. If you're not starting over your life, it's still okay. You can still continue to listen to this video, because these steps are things that you too can be doing. These are questions you can be asking yourselves on a daily basis. And always know that persistence wins in the end. So even if growth is uncomfortable, just keep being persistent. When, for example, you're outgrowing the habit of sleeping till, for example, like 9 a.m. Now, when you're now an adult and you realize that you have bills to pay and you need to wake up early, and at some point even you need to wake up at around 5 a.m. You see, that growth is uncomfortable, but it's good, because at the end of the day, you'll be proud, or you'll have an accomplishment that my bills are paid. So that's what I can tell you, that growth is uncomfortable, but it will always be the best thing. One of the key factors that helps me to restart my life is time. And what do I mean by time? I took a gap year, in that after finishing my high school, I did not proceed immediately to the next level. It wasn't really like a whole year, 12 months. It was actually 5 months. Yes, 5 months. It was exactly 5 months. And what I can say is that time is free but priceless. What you're doing with your time today is very, very important. Sometimes we do things and we say, oh, it's just for fun. You know, like you get drunk and you're like, it's just for fun. No, time is free but priceless. Once it's lost, you cannot get it back. And so, another thing that, and so, when I say you're restarting your life, it's your life, not other people's lives. It's your life. So, another tip that is very important is self-reflection. It's important to self-reflect. Even if you're not starting over your life, please self-reflect. And one of the ways you can self-reflect is through journaling. So when you journal, you write down your beliefs, you write down your goals, you write down your thoughts, and this helps you to realize that even some of the things you think about yourself, they may not be true. Like one of the things that I used to think about myself, because I'm no longer the old me, I'm a new being. So one of the things I used to think about myself is that other people's opinion about my life, about what I should do, about what I should wear, really mattered. And the truth is, their opinion doesn't matter. The only person's opinion matters is my opinion and what God says about me. Because at the end of the day, I only have one life to live, and we are supposed to live this life to the full. Another key thing is spending time alone. It's okay to be alone. We have heard that it's okay to be single, we have not heard that it's okay to be alone. Like, even if you're married, you spend some time alone. That time is very important for your growth as an individual. Even when you're single, sometimes you're single, but you find that you spend most of your time with friends, either partying, drinking. Sometimes it's you spend a lot of time with your workmates, and probably even the little time you can have for yourself, that time you delegate it maybe to your family, like your siblings, but it's important you spend time alone. And that is one of the things I'm very intentional today. It's spending time alone. When you spend time alone, you realize some things about yourself. Like you may even realize toxic habits or traits about yourself, right? Like, for example, during my gap year, when I spent time alone, one of the things that I realized about myself, and I realized that probably was holding me down, is holding back grudges or holding back memories that were hurtful and that are not even helping me to progress. Like if somebody did something wrong to me, I hold a grudge against them. I do not forgive them, even if they live my life. And that is very toxic. And the only way I came to realize that is by spending time with myself, because I would realize I'm alone, but I'm sad. I'm feeling depressed. And the big question is, why am I feeling that way? And when I journaled, that's when some of the inner thoughts from my heart started coming out, that at a certain point in my life, there was this one person who had wronged me, and I was still holding that grudge against them. And I needed to let that grudge go. I needed to forgive them fully from the bottom of my heart in order to move on. So I can say that one of the key things is spend time alone, as in create time to be alone by yourself. Even if it's in your bedroom, just spend time alone. Like right now, I'm alone in my room, like there's nobody else, and this time is important, because even as I'm doing this, there's something I'm also realizing about myself. I realize, oh, I'm not that much shy before the camera, you get me? So it's important, just spend time alone. Even if you spend time alone cooking, when you're cooking, there's some thoughts that will start popping up in your head. Even if you spend time alone, maybe you go to the gym. Even if you spend time alone, probably you go running. It's important still, at the end of the day, spend time alone. Then another key thing is changing your mindset. You cannot grow with the same mindset. Growth means change. So you must change your mindset. Even before I restarted my life, or I started over, or I decided what I now want to do, I had to shift my mindset. And one of the ways you can shift your mindset is through reading of books and also reading the Word of God. So books have influence from time back, like history, it has influenced our lives. And we also hear this common saying that history repeats itself. So it's important to read self-development books. School teaches you how to study for exams, but life will teach you how to learn. So you must also teach yourself how to learn. And the process of learning is through reading of books. Read the Word of God. Whatever you believe in, make sure you know about it. Question every single aspect of your life. Even when you hear yourself cursing, ask yourself, why do I love to curse? Because remember, habit is a disease. So if you do not recognize the cause of it, then there is no way you're gonna stop it unless you recognize the cause of it. Even when doctors want to discover the cure of something, they must first discover what was the cause of it, what probably started it. Like, in order to cure malaria, what spreads malaria? What it is? Mosquitoes. So it's that way. Your mindset is important in your growth. You cannot sow beans and expect to reap maize. No. If you sow a negative mindset, then expect to reap the same negative results. And if you sow a positive mindset, then expect to reap the same positive results. But that is not to mean that if you have a positive mindset, you should not take action. I'm not trying to insinuate that, oh, if you just have positive thoughts and you do not take action, things will just happen and you'll see positive results. No, if you have a positive mindset, it goes hand in hand with the positive results. And in order to get the positive results, you take action. But we'll come to that much later. So keep watching the video. So another key thing that I did, it was developing my spirituality. And we are told that life is more spiritual than physical, and that is very true. So developing my spirituality also helped me in this process of restarting my journey. And one thing I can say is that you can never know your purpose if you do not go to your creator. There are atheists who claim to have already discovered their purpose. It's okay if you claim so. You claim. Exactly, you claim. But there is a more meaningful and fulfilling life when you know what was your purpose when you are placed on earth. And personally for me, I don't know for you, but personally for me, the way how I was able to discover what I want to do with my life, and I'm still on that journey, because I said growth is a process. It's not that when I say I restarted my life in 2022 that it is over, or she's not growing anymore, we won't see her change. No, we are still growing, because if you stop growing, then you're dying, or you're already dead. And I don't mean like physical death. It can be even dead in the sense that you're not making progress. Even in terms of your mind, you still have the same thoughts. It can mean in terms of spirituality, you're still stuck at the same level, where if you could not access God till today, you still cannot access God. So that's what I'm meaning. But what I can say about spirituality is that it is very important. And for me, that's what even encourages me, that you cannot know your purpose if you do not go to the creator. And who is my creator? It is God. So, and also, if you buy a mobile phone, okay, let's not use a mobile phone. Let's use, for example, something like an oven. If you want to know how the oven functions, so you need to go to the manufacturer, and the manufacturer always leaves a booklet that you can read on how the oven works. And this can relate even in other things that we buy in life. If it's a vehicle, we need a manual for the car and stuff and So that is important. Go to your creator, develop your spirituality. And ways that you can develop your spirituality, one of them is through fasting. Another thing is through reading the Word of God. And also another thing is through praying. and also being in a community where you have people with the same beliefs, people who believe in God, people who believe that God has changed their lives and is continuing to change their lives is also important, because that helps to develop your spirituality. And also another thing that I can tell you is that our lives are more spiritual than physical. That's what you always need to remember, that I'm not forcing my beliefs up on anyone. Please don't get me wrong. It's okay if you don't believe in Jesus Christ. Yes, it's okay. But what I can tell you is that he's the savior of the world. Another thing that has helped me is being specific in my goals and visions, and even the abilities that I have, and even also being visual of where I want to see myself like 5 years from now, 10 years from now. That is something also that has helped me to restart my life, because I'm telling you, if you're not specific in life, then let me tell you a quote that probably you do not know, that if you're going nowhere, then no road will take you anywhere. If you're going nowhere, then no road will take you anywhere. So if you're not specific on what you want from life, on where you want from, on where even you want to be in life, like in the next 5 years or even in the next 10 years, then I'm telling you, no road will take you where you want to be. So you must be specific. Like if, for example, if you want to go to Thika, you'll say, I'll take the Thika highway. If you want to go to America, I'll take a certain express I'll book a certain ticket, a certain ticket, this specific ticket. I won't book all the tickets in the airport, and yet I'm going to America. And it's the same thing. Ask yourself, where do you want to go? And I realized that even when in high school, I did not ask myself these questions. All I wanted was that I just wanted to do medicine. Why? People say it's a prestige course. People say it has money. People who are not even in that medicine course. People who see the doctors in the medicine course and they think that just because they have that title doctor, their life is much easier than theirs. And the truth of the matter is, no course is easy, or rather to say, no career is easy. Each career has its fair advantages and its fair disadvantages. But these people will advise you according to what they see. They're not yet in the career. But if you listen to these doctors, they'll tell you they experience challenges. Some of them, even in a day, they can only get 2 hours of sleep because they are taking care of patients in hospitals, diagnosing and everything, especially neurosurgeons, operations. The operations are in extended hours or in extensive hours, and you can find even sometimes the only time they get to sleep is only 2 hours, and they won't mention this to you. So what I can tell you, especially if you are in high school, especially if you are a young person, if you're not young, probably you are in your 50s, 40s, and you've been pursuing other people's desires for all your life. I'm sorry, but it's time you start living your life. You only have one life to live, and you need to live it to the fullest. So I can tell you that sit down today, or any time, write down your goals. Like, just ask yourself, what do I really want in life? Is it a car that I want? Why do I want a car? Is it to travel to Mauritius? Why do I want to travel to Mauritius? There is nothing you can't get on this earth. There is nothing impossible with God. As long as you believe it, you set your mind on it, and you work towards it, I promise you, you will certainly achieve it. And the first step also, not the first, but it's a major contribution. It's you sitting down and writing down your goals, not your sister's goals, not your brother's goals, not your mother's goals, not your father's goals. It is your goals, not even my goals. And that's why I'm not telling you go buy a car. That's why I'm not telling you go do medicine. That's why I'm not telling you go start a YouTube channel. No, I'm not saying that, oh, you must start a YouTube channel. No, what if that is not your purpose? What if that is not your passion? We can't all be the same. So I'm challenging you, please evaluate, what do you want in life? What are your desires? Growing up, Did you desire to be a business owner one day? How can I get there? Which roads can I take? Because you can't tell me that if I want to go to a country like Kenya, I should book all the tickets I have that are available in the USA airline, and I'm like, specifically I'm going to Kenya. So there's a specific route I must take. And even for you to achieve your goals, there is a specific route you must take. For example, let's say you are aiming, one of your goals probably is to ensure that you do not have sex before marriage. And then you that is your goal, right? Do you want to tell me you'll take a road where there is partying, where there is clubbing, and where there is probably sex workers or there is prostitution going on? Is that the road you'll take? No. Absolutely, you'll take the other road where you see there are people who have the same mindset as you, people who are respecting their bodies, people who are not engaging in premature sex or premarital sex. That is the road you'll take. And so I'm challenging you that write down your goals today. Write down what you want from life. Because in order for you even to restart, another tip is practicing gratitude. Gratitude for what you have and even for the things that you don't have or for the goals that you've not yet achieved. And that's why I say be specific. Be specific. Don't just say want to go to do a medicine course. No, my sister, no, my brother. Medicine. There are many branches of medicine. Do you want to be just a clinical officer? Do you want to be a doctor who is a pediatrician? Do you want to be a pediatrician? Do you want to be an optician? Do you want to be a dentist? Be specific with your goals. When you say you're going to buy a car, please describe that car. There are many cars in the market. When you say want to buy a new phone, describe that phone. Like for me, when I say I'll buy a new phone, I'm saying iPhone 11. You get me? I'm specific. I want an iPhone 11. There is a mini phone, When I say I'm going to buy a camera, which camera? I'm going to buy a Canon camera. I'm going to buy a Sony camera. So be specific, and even when you have not yet gotten it, just keep telling the universe, thank you, I'm grateful, and law of attraction, And my bonus tip is take action. You cannot restart your life if you do not take action. You cannot start over if you do not take action. You cannot progress in life if you do not take action. Yes, we have said growth is a process, but even in the process, take action. For example, if you want to do a medicine course, why don't you start taking the science courses or the science subjects that you're doing, such as physics, biology, and chemistry, seriously, if you know that medicine is in your passion, or medicine is what you've been called in life to do, or to put it in better terms, it's your purpose in life. So like for me, in my case, I realized that effective communication has always been my goal. Like in our family, a lot of chaos have been caused by people not effectively communicating, and that is something I've always tried to teach others, like effectively communicate. But at the same time, I'm also teaching myself to learn how to effectively communicate. So I can say that through discovering that passion, I decided, let me start a YouTube channel. And in that manner, you see, I'm taking action because I also know there are other goals, but it's in line, you see. So in whatever line you believe you have been called, take action. Things cannot happen if you do not take action. You cannot reap a harvest if you do not sow a seed. So if a farmer does not go to the farm and sow the seed, there is nowhere at the end of the month or at the end of the season he'll expect a bountiful harvest. Same to you. If you do not take action, if you do not stop listening to people's negative mindset, or you won't thrive in that career because you're not good, or you won't be a good influencer because you do not look in 1 to 3 ways, you do not fit to a particular beauty standard, then you'll fail. So please take action. That is my bonus tip. And I can say my extra bonus tip is that we can all make it in life. Always believe that. Be positive minded, Remember that the tongue has power over life and death. So whatever you tell yourself, always know it will come to manifest. So what I can leave you with is that in as much as you're taking action, in as much as you're self-reflecting and doing even praying and meditating, what I can tell you is the energy you put out in the world is the energy you receive. If your work is to say you cannot succeed, then there you go, you won't succeed. But if you put out a positive energy and you do the other things that I've told you, the tips that I've given you, then surely you will succeed. So if you like my content, please consider subscribing. And also, I'll be doing another video on what happened that I did not proceed with my medicine course. So if you want to see that video, please hit the bell, so that you can receive notifications when I upload the video. And thank you.